Welcome to the Heartbreak Chronicles, where every story is a raw reflection of life. Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned, give us a like to show your support, and share this episode with your friends. Don't forget to leave a comment and let us know what you think. Now, let's dive into today's story. My name is Jack Thompson, and I'm an oilman from Colorado Springs. I like to spend time alone, especially when my wife Olivia is away at meetings. It's a sunny Saturday and I'm out in the yard mowing the lawn and enjoying some rare peace and quiet. Suddenly, the ringing phone interrupted my thoughts. I wiped my sweaty forehead and went inside to answer the phone. "Hello, is this Mr. Jack Thompson?" Came a strange female voice. "Yes, I am. And you are?" "I'm Sarah Wilson from Pacific Insurance. We need to verify some information about your wife Olivia Thompson's insurance claim." I frowned. "What insurance claim? My wife is supposed to be in New York for a conference." Sarah paused for a moment, seeming a bit confused. According to our records, Mrs. Thompson was involved in an automobile accident while on vacation in Hawaii. She is now being treated at General Hospital in Honolulu." I felt a wave of dizziness and had to hold on to the table to keep my footing. This must be a mistake. Olivia should be in New York." "I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, but we did receive a claim from Hawaii. Your wife's injuries do not appear to be promising, and the doctor has advised her to remain immobile for the time being." I tried to calm myself. "Okay, I get it. Thank you for the notice." After I hung up the phone, I sat down on the couch, my mind reeling. Why is Olivia in Hawaii? Why would she lie to me about a meeting in New York? Did she betray me? I closed my eyes and thought back to when Olivia and I met and fell in love. 6 years ago, we met at a company party in Colorado Springs. She is a lively and cheerful girl with two cute dimples when she smiles. We fell in love very quickly and got married a year later. Married life was uneventful and happy. At least that's what I always thought. But now, I'm starting to wonder if I really knew Olivia all these years. I think about my parents' marriage. The mother had cheated on her mother and almost destroyed the whole family. Father chose to forgive, but after that, he never trusted anyone. I swore I'd never make the same mistake as my father, but now it seems history is repeating itself. My brother Mike also suffered marital betrayal. His wife is cheating on him with his best friend, and when Mike finds out, he loses his mind, resulting in tragedy. Now Mike is serving a prison sentence, and his life is ruined. Is this the fate of the Thompson men? I couldn't help but think to myself. I took a deep breath and decided to go to Hawaii to find out for myself. I simply packed my bags and booked the earliest flight. On the plane, I tossed and turned and couldn't sleep. Speculation swirled in my head. Was Olivia really cheating on her husband? Why would she lie to me? If the truth is unacceptable, how do I deal with it? I finally arrived in Honolulu after a nearly 6-hour flight. I went straight to the General Hospital with a lot of trepidation. After inquiring at the front desk of the hospital, I learned that Olivia was placed in a room on the 3rd floor. When I walked into the hospital room, I saw Olivia lying in a hospital bed, hooked up to various instruments. Her face is a little bruised, but she doesn't appear to be in any serious condition. When she saw me, her eyes flickered and she seemed a little surprised and flustered. "Jack, what are you doing here?" she asked weakly. I fought back the anger and confusion inside me and tried to stay calm. "I got a call from the insurance company saying you were in a car accident in Hawaii." "Olivia, aren't you supposed to be in New York for a meeting?" Olivia bit her lip, her eyes a little averted. I've changed my plans. The company arranged for me to come to Hawaii to look at a new program." I stared into her eyes, trying to find a hint of a lie in them. "Why didn't you tell me? Do you know how worried I was?" "I'm sorry, Jack. It all happened so suddenly. I forgot to inform you." "I'm sorry," Olivia explained, but her tone sounded unnatural. I looked at my wife in the hospital bed, and suddenly I felt strange. How many secrets do we still have between us? Should I trust her? The doctor interrupts our conversation by walking in and telling me that Olivia's injuries are centered on her lower body and that she is immobile for the time being, but that they are not life-threatening. I nodded mechanically, my mind filled with questions. That night, I went to a hotel near the hospital to take a rest, but in fact, I started my secret investigation. I'm going to find out what Olivia's hiding, even if the truth might kill me. The next morning, I returned to the hospital in Hawaii. Olivia seems to be in better spirits, but her eyes still twinkle as if she's hiding something. "Where's your cell phone and laptop?" I asked, pretending to be casual. Olivia visibly stiffened. "Oh, probably lost it in the crash. The police said they'd help me look for it." I nodded and didn't pursue it further, but I knew it would be a breakthrough in my investigation. After leaving the hospital, I contacted a friend, Ryan, who works for an IT company. With his remote help, I successfully logged into Olivia's cloud account. My heart raced, wondering what I was going to find. Browsing through the history, I found that Olivia had searched for hotel information in Hawaii several times. I wrote down the name of a hotel called Pacific Paradise Resort and decided to check it out for myself. At the front desk of the hotel, I made up a lie about coming to pick up an item my wife had left behind. Fortunately, the lady at the front desk took my word for it and gave me a room card. Walking into the room, I immediately felt something was wrong. The room was so neat, like it had been professionally cleaned. I search every corner and finally find Olivia's cell phone and laptop in the nightstand drawer. My hand shook a little as I opened the laptop. The screen lights up, but all files and emails are cleared. Same with the cell phone, call logs and text messages were deleted cleanly. This deliberate cleanup deepened my suspicions. What is Olivia hiding? I decided to start with her work. I dialed Olivia's boss, Bernie, who works at the company's headquarters in Colorado Springs. "Hello, I'm Jack Thompson, Olivia's husband." "Ah, Jack. I heard Olivia was in a car accident. I hope she's okay." Bernie sounded a little strange. "Yes, she's still in the hospital." "Bernie, just to confirm, Olivia is going to New York for a meeting this time, correct?" There was silence on the other end of the line for a few seconds. Jack, I thought you knew. Olivia didn't go to New York for the meeting. In fact, she takes 2 weeks off every year. We don't know exactly where she went." I felt a wave of vertigo. "What? Every year?" "Yes, it's been going on for a couple years. I thought this was an arrangement between you as a couple." Bernie sounded apologetic. After hanging up, I sat paralyzed on my bed, feeling the sky spinning. Olivia cheats on me every year, and I don't even know it. I suddenly realized that I probably didn't know my wife at all. I decided to arrange for Olivia to be transferred back to Colorado Springs. I need more time to investigate, and I want to deal with this in a familiar setting. On the return flight, I told my father-in-law, Jim, the truth. Jim has always treated me like his own son, and I felt he had a right to know what his daughter was doing. "Jack, you must be mistaken," Jim said on the phone. "How could Olivia do something like that?" "I hope I'm mistaken, Jim, but all the evidence points to this." "I'm sorry," I said bitterly. Jim was silent for a long time. If this is true, what are you going to do?" I took a deep breath. "I don't know, Jim. I need time to think." Upon returning to Colorado, I felt more alone and lost than ever. I began to think back on all the unusual things about Olivia lately. She was always distracted, often working late, and becoming more and more perfunctory about our intimate behavior. There was an explanation for all this. Suddenly, a name flashed through my mind: Garrett. He's Olivia's ex-boyfriend, and even though Olivia says they broke it off a long time ago, I always thought he still had thoughts about Olivia. Could it be that Olivia has been coupling up with him? Anger and jealousy washed over me. I decided to go to Garrett and ask him about it. I know he lives in a trailer camp on the outskirts of town. It was getting late, but I couldn't care less. I drove up to Garrett's trailer and knocked hard on the door. "Who is it?" A drunken voice came. "Open the door, Garrett." "It's Jack Thompson." The door opened and Garrett looked at me with a confused look on his face. "Thompson? Oh, you're Olivia's husband." My anger instantly erupted at the sight of him being full of himself. I grabbed him by the collar. "Tell me, have you been in contact with Olivia?" Garrett's eyes widened. "What? What are you talking about?" "Don't play dumb. Olivia takes 2 weeks off every year. Is she with you?" Garrett tries to break free. "Are you crazy? I haven't seen Olivia in years." I didn't believe him and punched him in the face. Garrett fell to the ground and his nose began to bleed. "Tell the truth," I yelled, continuing to swing. "I swear, I really didn't know. Ah, Garrett groaned in pain. I don't know how long I fought until I heard my neighbors yelling. I looked down at Garrett, whose face is covered in blood, and suddenly realized what I've done. I fled the scene in a panic and drove home. My hands were shaking, my knuckles aching from the beating I'd just taken. I know I'm in big trouble, but I can't control my emotions anymore. Lying in bed, I thought back over everything that had happened in the past few days. How did my life come to this? How am I going to face the rest of the day? I didn't know, but I knew I had to find the truth, no matter how heartbreaking that truth was. The next morning, I was getting ready to go to the hospital when my cell phone suddenly rang. It's an unfamiliar number. Hello, is this Mr. Jack Thompson? Came a serious female voice. Yes, I am. May I ask who you are? This is Detective Lisa Morgan, Colorado Springs Police Department. We need you to come to the station to assist in an assault investigation. My heart raced. Looks like Garrett called the police. Okay, I'll be right there. I'm sorry, I said with forced composure. At the police station, Detective Morgan stared sternly at me. Mr. Thompson, a car similar to your vehicle was seen near the crime scene last night. Can you explain? I took a deep breath and decided to use my prepared speech. I did drive out for a drive last night because I couldn't sleep, but I didn't hurt anyone. Morgan looked at me thoughtfully. So, can you provide me with a specific itinerary for last night? I began to describe my fictional trip in detail, including where I had been, the approximate time I had been there, and so on. I even mentioned a roadblock I encountered on the way, information I learned this morning by specifically checking the news. After nearly 2 hours of cross-examination, Morgan couldn't seem to find a break in my story for the moment. She told me I could leave, but to keep in touch at all times. I was relieved to leave the police station, but I knew the danger was not over. I have to speed up the investigation. I decided to contact Bernie, Olivia's owner, again. This time, I went straight to his office. Bernie was visibly surprised to see me. Jack, what are you doing here? I said bluntly, Bernie, I need to know everything I can about Olivia. I know she takes 2 weeks off every year, but where she goes is unknown. You must know something. Bernie looks disturbed. Jack, I really don't know. I interrupted. Bernie, please tell the truth. It's about my marriage. Bernie was silent for a moment and finally spoke. Okay, Jack. Actually, Olivia has been seeing a man named Cal. They use their business trips to rendezvous in various places each year. I felt a wave of giddiness. Cal? Who is he? He's a senior sales manager for our company. Bernie whispered. I would have thought you knew. I held back my anger and continued. How long have they been going on like this? Bernie hesitated. About 5 years or so. 5 years. That number was like a knife, stabbing me hard in the heart. We've only been married for 6 years, which means Olivia's been cheating on me almost since we got married. I stumbled out of Bernie's office feeling like my whole world was falling apart. I don't know how I got home. I just remember walking like a robot, my mind blank. When I got home, I opened Olivia's laptop again. This time, I decided to use some more advanced recovery software. After a couple hours of work, I finally found some of the deleted files. When I opened those files, the image in front of me broke me down instantly. It was an intimate photo of Olivia with a strange man and a flirty chat between them. In terms of time, the photographs and records span several years and are spread across the country. My hands trembled uncontrollably, tears blurring my vision. The woman I once loved so much, the partner I thought I would spend my life with, had been cheating on me. I picked up my cell phone and dialed Olivia's number. Jack? Came Olivia's voice, sounding a little worried. Olivia, I know everything. I'm sorry, I said coldly. There was silence on the other end of the line for a few seconds. Jack, what are you talking about? Stop pretending. I practically yelled. I know about you and Cal. I've seen the pictures of you guys and the mushy chats. Olivia sucked in a cold breath. Jack, I can explain. Explain? What do you have to explain? I interrupted her. You betrayed me and our marriage. How long has this been going on? 5 years? You've been cheating on me since we got married? No, it's not like that. Olivia's voice was laced with tears. Jack, please listen to me. but I didn't want to hear any more explanations. I hung up and felt my heart die. I spent the next few days wandering around the house like a wandering soul. I don't know how to face this harsh reality. I used to think our marriage was perfect, but now it seems like that was just wishful thinking on my part. Olivia kept calling and texting me, but I ignored it all. I don't know how to face her, or if I even need to face her. Finally, on the day the doctor announced that Olivia could be discharged, I decided to go to the hospital to see her one last time. Olivia was packing up her things when I walked into the hospital room. When she saw me, her eyes immediately reddened. "Jack," she called softly. I looked at her coldly. "I came to hear the truth from you in person." "Why, Olivia? Why are you doing this to me?" Olivia lowered her head, tears slipping down her face. I don't know. At first it was just an impulse, then it got out of control. "Jack, I'm really sorry." "Sorry?" I laughed bitterly. "You think saying you're sorry is going to make up for all this? Do you know how much I believed in you and loved you all these years?" Olivia cried harder. "I know what I did was wrong. Jack, please give me a chance so we can start over." I shook my head. "No, Olivia. It's already too late. The trust between us is completely broken. I don't think I can ever forgive you, much less trust you again." "Jack, please." Olivia tries to grab my hand, but I dodge it. "Bye, Olivia." I turned away and didn't look back. Walking out of the hospital, I felt a wave of relief I'd never felt before. Although my heart still aches, I know that the hardest moments are behind me. Next, I'm going to start a new life. I took out my cell phone and dialed a number. "Hello, I'd like to schedule an appointment with a divorce attorney." Immediately after leaving the hospital, I contacted a well-known divorce lawyer, David Fraser. During our first meeting, David listened carefully to my story and gave me some professional advice. "Jack, considering your wife's infidelity, we have a good chance of getting a favorable deal on the division of property. But we need more evidence to support your claim," David said. Over the next few weeks, I worked closely with David to gather all kinds of evidence. We pulled Olivia's bank records, credit card statements, even hired a private investigator to track down her relationship with Cal. Meanwhile, Olivia has hired her own lawyer to try to salvage the situation. She tried to reconcile with me many times, promising to change and pleading with me to give her a second chance. But my mind was made up, and there was no turning back. It was only during the months-long legal process that I truly realized how complicated and painful the end of a marriage can be. Every court appearance was a mental torture, and I had to go over the heartbreaking details again and again. In the end, the court ruled in favor of our prenuptial agreement. In light of Olivia's infidelity, she lost her right to any additional property distribution. I kept all my personal possessions and business, while Olivia could only take her own personal belongings. The moment I got the divorce decree, I felt both relieved and confused. 6 years of marriage had come to an end, and I didn't know where to go from there. I decided to give myself some time to heal and think first. I quit my job at the oil company and used my savings to start my own business. I've always been interested in new energy technologies, and I think they're the way of the future. As a result, I founded a company that specializes in the development and production of solar energy equipment. The road to entrepreneurship is not smooth. In the beginning, I used to work late into the night, running around trying to raise funds. Sometimes, I wonder if I made the right choice. But whenever I think of my past experiences, I tell myself that if I can survive that kind of shock, I will definitely be able to get through the tough times of starting a business. Fortunately, my persistence paid off. 2 years after its founding, my company developed a high-efficiency, low-cost solar cell that quickly gained recognition in the marketplace. Orders came one after another. The company began to grow rapidly. While my career has flourished, my personal life has also taken a turn for the better. I met Catherine at a business meeting. She is a senior analyst at an investment firm and is considering investing in our company's new program. I was impressed with Catherine's intelligence and independence. We had a good conversation and had dinner together after the meeting. She told me that she too had been through a failed marriage and was now a single mother. "Life is full of surprises, isn't it?" she exclaimed. "Who would have thought we'd meet in this way?" I looked into Catherine's eyes and felt a sudden rush of heartbeat. Perhaps this is the second chance fate has given me. Catherine, would you like to get together for a cup of coffee sometime? I asked, gathering my courage. She smiled. I'd love to, Jack. After that, Catherine and I started seeing each other more often. We have a lot in common, whether it's discussing business strategies or chatting about life's aspirations. Time flies. Her strength and optimism touched me deeply, and my humor and thoughtfulness gradually made her let down her guard. Although we were both apprehensive about relationships because of our past experiences, we decided to give each other a chance. Our relationship has developed steadily, with mutual respect and growth. Now, 5 years later, I am sitting in my company's office, reflecting on the changes that have taken place over the years. Catherine and I have been married for 2 years. She is 6 months pregnant, and we are expecting our first child. My company has also become one of the leaders in the new energy industry. I often think that if I hadn't gone through that painful marriage, I might never have had the courage to start a new life. Life is sometimes so marvelous that out of despair often comes hope. In the meantime, I learned about Olivia and Cal. Olivia is said to have been fired from her company for insurance fraud and is now working as a temp for a small company. Cal, on the other hand, divorced his wife after an affair came to light and moved out of state to start over. I did not derive any pleasure from their misfortune. On the contrary, I feel sorry for them. I hope they can learn from their mistakes and find their way in life again. Walking out of the office, I took a deep breath of fresh air. The sun was warm on my face, and I felt more relaxed and hopeful than ever. I know that there will be many challenges and difficulties in life, but I'm not afraid anymore, because I realize that no matter what comes my way, I have the courage and ability to face it. This is my new life, my new beginning. Although the road is winding, I believe that the best is yet to come, because I realize that life is like a book, and I am writing my own chapter. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have a story to share about your own or someone else's experience, please feel free to contact me. Take care.